Hello, Ding Ding Pie.
Hey guys, it's John from US Dash Camera. Today I got a review on the DDPAI Mini5 dash camera. Now, I've reviewed a few DDPAI cameras in the past, and if you guys have subscribed to me for a while, you might have noticed my avatar was actually a DDPAI Mini camera, but I recently changed that. So DDPAI did reach out to me and send this unit out for review, so I'd like to thank them for sending this review unit out. Of course, I always give my complete and honest opinion. So this camera is a single channel 4K resolution dash camera. It's true 4K, so it does actually have an 8 megapixel sensor. A lot of cheaper brands will have 4K resolution, but they're only using a 4 megapixel image sensor. And if you don't have 8 megapixel image sensors, you're not getting true 4K video. They're just upscaling it to 4K. So you want to watch out for that. DDPAI tends to put out higher quality products, so I'm not surprised that they didn't go the cheap way and they actually have a 8 megapixel image sensor in this camera. It's currently around $140 on Amazon. If you are interested in purchasing it, I'll provide a link down in the description to where you can purchase it. It is an affiliate link, so it does help support my channel. So this camera is actually very basic. It has this mount which separates from the camera. The camera itself is sort of like a candy bar. It's got a power button on one side. It's got a light and speaker on the other. Now it has some pins here. I'm not quite sure what those are for, but the power cord goes into there. You can see there's nothing that these pins go to, so I'm not sure if that's some potential future add-on or something I don't know about. The mount, as you can see, uses adhesive stickers to put it on your windshield. It gets it nice and secure. With a very short arm, it shouldn't bounce around much. It should be pretty stable and secure. Now, I do like that it is USB-C, so the power cable that comes with it is a 90-degree angle, but unlike mini or micro USB, you can put it either way. Most people are going to be putting it that way, of course, so this will go up into your ceiling. And then it just comes with a USB adapter. So video quality wise, I think the daytime looks excellent. You can tell it's true 4K. Now, it might not have the best contrast or overall picture quality, but I think people are going to be very happy with this. The resolution and detail just looks great during the day. Even cars on the highway, when they're driving past you, if you pause it as they're just coming onto the screen, you can still read their license plates, which is something a lot of people consider very important. Now, the nighttime, like pretty much every other dash camera, does suffer. Traditionally, 4K dash cameras tend to do worse at night because the image sensor has a lot more pixels, and oftentimes those pixels, because they're smaller, are less able to absorb light than something like a 1080p camera or even a 1440p camera. But I think for most people it will be satisfactory. When you're driving through intersections, you can read the street signs. Now, license plates are another story where oftentimes when cars are driving by at night, you can't read their license plate. But that's the case even with the Viafo A119 V3 that I still use as one of my favorite cameras that has really great night quality. And with that camera, I still can't read license plates a lot of the times. I wish I could. Now, one of the features of DDPAI cameras that has really always stood out for them is their Android and iOS app. They've always liked to include social media and sharing features to their app, which I never really got into. But what's unique about how you capture video in this app is you set a start time in your video, and then as it plays, then you set a stop time, and then it downloads that clip. So it's a neat way to be able to stitch several clips together. If you watch dashcam videos on Reddit or YouTube, you'll see oftentimes people don't trim them down, or they're edited really weird because they're usually copying the files from the memory card and don't do any editing. So this is nice that right from the app you can start and stop it where you want. Now, the good news for people like me is you can take the camera out and then just plug it into your computer and it reads it like a drive, and then you can just copy the files. They're minute-long clips, I believe, and you can just copy them over the old-fashioned way if you'd prefer that. Now, one of the interesting quirks about this camera is it does have voice alerts.
Hello, DDPAI. GPS locate succeed.
So some of their phrases sound a little funny because the grammar isn't perfect, but you know, it's nice. I like having audio alerts. Now, one of the weird quirks though about this camera, or issues I did have, is the ADAS system, which is like an advanced driver assistance system. It'll call out or voice out when you are too close to a car in front of you. The issue I was having was it was calling out me being too close to cars oftentimes when they were in the lane next to me. And I was trying to find some settings in the menu, and I didn't really notice anything.
Too close to front car. Too close to front car. Too close to front car.
There is a vanishing line, and I thought maybe that had to do with it, but when I looked in the instructions, that is where you're supposed to set the horizon to. So personally, I don't care for ADAS systems in dash cameras. A lot of companies have them, but I think they're mostly useless, and some people might think I'm being too harsh there. But my issue is, if I'm about to rear end someone, my camera telling me that I've gotten too close or need to brake likely isn't going to stop me. I think ADAS systems need to be built into your car. For example, a lot of dash cameras will alert you if you're leaving your lane, but they aren't smart enough to know that you're changing lanes on purpose and signaling. So I think those kind of features need to be built into the car, and your car needs to be able to control your braking or steering wheel to react if it thinks you are asleep or distracted, or just audio alerts alone I don't think really cut it personally. Now, one final issue that might bother some people, it somewhat bothers me, is this camera does have built-in memory. It does have a generous 64 gigabytes, which with this 4K video in H.265 encoding, that should be plenty. That is why I mentioned earlier that I can just take the camera out and plug it into my computer. It's because there's no memory card slot. Now, they claim that the memory that they use for this camera and their other models is better quality memory than what's in a typical micro SD card, so it should last a much longer time than any typical micro SD card, but that is something to note. Now, for the parking mode, it is pretty simple. If you are going to try using the parking mode, I would recommend buying the optional Hardwiring Kit. This parking mode is not any advanced automatic buffered parking mode or anything like that. It basically just requires an always-on connection, and after a certain amount of time of your vehicle not moving, it switches to parking mode. There's three basic options. One is a smaller file mode, they call it, where it's basically like a time lapse. There's just normal recording, which is going to keep recording, although you can set a time limit, so I would highly recommend this because you don't want it to continue to record forever if you're parked in the spot for quite a while. Now, with the Hardwiring Kit, of course, it will cut power to the camera if your voltage is starting to run low in your car battery. And of course, the third option is the event detection mode, but as I said, since there's no automatic buffered parking like some more advanced cameras, it's just going to sense an impact and wake up and start recording. So you technically don't see the actual impact, but if you're lucky and the vehicle hit and runs you, if they don't drive away quick enough, you should be able to capture that. But if you are interested in a more advanced parking mode, you'll probably have to look elsewhere. I wouldn't really rely on parking mode for this camera, but it's always nice to have that option because this is a very affordable, cheap camera for such good 4K video quality overall. So guys, overall, this is a pretty simple dash camera, but a high quality one. DDPAI has tended to make higher quality products. They don't feel cheap. They feel very high quality. They feel very solid. And you know, they didn't cheap out and use a fake 4K camera. They have true 4K with an 8 megapixel image sensor with video quality that's going to satisfy most people, I believe. So if you are already looking at purchasing this, because I know a lot of my viewers are searching YouTube because they are interested in a dash camera, I would say as long as you're okay with the night quality and some of the quirks about the app, then this is an excellent camera at only $140 for that true 4K video quality. So again, if you are interested, I'll provide affiliate links down in the description that help support my channel. If you like this video or my other videos, I'd appreciate it if you hit like and subscribe. And as usual, drive safe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.